this video, we're going to have a look at the creation of simple charts within Excel. Let me just share my screen with you one more time. Okay, I've got a simple spreadsheet here, which is just giving me the grades of certain students' maths, English and French exams. Okay, so if I wanted to create a simple chart, okay, with all of the information, I'm going to just highlight the whole table. Okay, cell A3 doesn't have any text within it, but I need to include it, okay, within the selection. So I've just clicked with my mouse into A3, holding your left mouse button down with the chunky white cross within the middle of the cell. Just click and drag. Okay, I'm going to click on the Insert menu, and there are different types of charts. So we can do a line chart or a scatter diagram or anything like that, pie charts and column or bar charts. Okay, the principle is the same for all of the charts apart from perhaps our pie, which we'll have a look at just now as well. So I'm going to click on the little down arrow. I can have a 2D column, a 3D column, a 2D bar or a 3D bar. Okay, and there are options for more column charts as well below. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. You can have a stacked or unstacked. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little normal kind of bar chart there. And you can see very, very quickly and very easily, it's popped that data in for me. Okay, I've got the values, okay, of the scores, and I've got the names of the students. Okay, and we can see quite clearly the different colours for the different subjects. I'm going to want to give it a meaningful title. Okay, so student grades, for instance, June 2020 or something like that. Okay, the chart's kind of superimposed over the table, so I can reduce it. Okay, it's just like a piece of clip art, so I'm just grabbing it in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'm just moving towards the top left, which will actually shrink it, and then I can move it anywhere I want within the spreadsheet. Or I could cut and paste it onto a brand new sheet altogether. Okay, so let's do that. For instance, if I was to cut, I could pop it onto sheet 2, right click, paste it in there, and I could call sheet 2, for instance, chart. So I'm just going to right click and call it chart. Okay, we could rename sheet 1, right click, rename it and just call it grades. Okay, so within the chart, I can make the chart sheet, I can make it a little bit bigger now. And I can, as I say, when I've selected the chart, okay, I can click on the little green cross for chart elements, or I can click on chart design and I can get chart elements from here as well. Okay, so we're just going to keep it nice and simple just now, just to show you the basics. So if I wanted to put in my X and Y axes, okay, or my axis titles, I could click on the, as I say, the plus, click on axis titles, or I could have done it from up here, the same thing, using the down arrow and picking axis titles. Okay, so once I've picked axis titles from over here, it would allow me then to just type in. Okay, so it's a bit obvious that it's the students' names, but I could pop that in there. Student names, and over in this one I can put that it was the grade. Okay, nice and easy, simple to create the little chart. Okay, when you click on any of the elements, you can see you get a little border around it. That just means that that element has been selected. So again, you can use your right mouse button with anything within charts. So whatever you have selected and you use your right mouse button, then you're going to get options, okay, relevant to that particular section. So you can change the font here, I can edit the text, I can delete the title, I can change the chart type, okay, I can format the chart title. So there are a variety of options for you to play about with. So for instance as well, if I click on, for instance, French, okay, you can see that I've just got French. I can right click, I can add data labels, okay, I can format the data series to change the colours if I want to, okay, if I don't like the colour of the bars, okay, the columns. So you can change those about. If I add data labels, you can see what happens. Okay, I've got the scores above just the French grades, because that's the only column that I had actually selected. Okay, so lots and lots of things that you can do to play about with. Okay, if I want to print the chart, okay, on a separate sheet of paper, which is what I would highly recommend you do, rather than having the two of them together side by side on the same sheet. I like to have my charts printed off separately, and that's why it's important that you give it a meaningful name, okay, because if you were to print the chart separate from the table and didn't have a meaningful name, then it wouldn't make much sense, okay, so necessarily without the table to go with it. Okay, so if I wanted to print it, I just make sure that I've selected it, okay, by clicking on it, File, Print, and you'll see now that we have an option for Print Selected Chart, okay, because we've selected it. So we're not just printing the sheet with the chart on it, okay, it's important that you click on the chart before you go to print, and you will get Print Selected Chart, and it'll fill the piece of paper a little bit more, okay. What it doesn't do, okay, regardless of whether you have actually set up a header and footer, okay, within the sheet, when you print the chart separately, okay, it does not take that header or footer. So you would need to go into page setup where we've been before. You would need to go into the header and footer tab, and you would need to say custom header, custom footer, okay, to type something in the left, centered, or right section, or you could use one of the predefined, okay, options that Excel has created for you. Okay, so it's just important to remember you must put on a separate header or footer, regardless of whether you've actually already applied one to the actual sheet. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay, I might not want to have everybody's scores, okay, or perhaps all of the topics. I might just want the students for English and French. How to do that? We make our first selection, okay, so we want the students. If you hold your Control key down, okay, and then select English and French, then that is going to miss out maths, okay, because what we've done there is we've selected what we call a non-adjacent range. Okay, the cells are not adjacent to one another, they're not next to another. We've excluded maths. So again, you can just say insert, okay, 2D column for instance, and there you can see it's just the English and French scores for each of the students. If I want to delete that while I've got it selected, as you can see, okay, I'm just going to hit my delete key and it goes from my screen. Okay, so let's just have a little look at pie charts as well. Pie charts are slightly different, okay? What people get confused about when they start to do charts is they try to put too much information in. Okay, so for instance, if I had a total line in here with values in here, okay, it might not make any sense to have included all of that section within my chart. Okay, so you've got to think about too much information is misleading and too little information is misleading. Okay, so you want your chart to actually make sense. So for instance, a pie chart, okay, we can't have all of the scores for all of the students for maths, English and French. Okay, we have a comparison. So for instance, we could have one of the students' maths, English and French scores, or we could have all of the math scores for all of the students, all of the English scores for all of the students, and all of the French scores for all of the students. Okay, we can't have the whole lot together because a pie chart won't make any sense. Okay, so to recap, I could have all of the scores for Adam for maths, English and French, or I could have all of the math scores for all of the students, all of the English scores for all of the students, and all of the French scores for all of the students. Okay, so let's keep it nice and simple for now. Let's just do maths for all of the students. So again, I've selected them, and again, I must take that blank cell in there, even though it doesn't have anything written within it. Okay, I'm going to say insert, pick the little one where it's got your little pie chart. Okay, again, you can get 3D pies, you can get a donut, more pie charts down here. Let's just keep it nice and simple. Let's just do a 2D pie. Okay, and then you can see there, that's just the math scores for each of the students. So again, we would need to give it a meaningful title. Okay, June 2020 maths grades or something like that. Okay, what you can do with pies is nice. You can, again, when I select the pie, you can see when I click on it the first time, I've got all of the slices of the pie. If I click again on one of the triangles, okay, or the wedges of the pie, then I'm just going to have that particular slice. Okay, so when I've got everything selected, I like to right click and I like to add data labels. Okay, so again, the data labels will appear If I now click again, you'll notice that data labels, because they're there, I've now got an option to format the data labels. Okay, so at this point, I might want to take the value off, but just say what the percentage of the pie is. Okay, so I can close this down. Okay, I can also, if I want, I can change the color. Okay, I can format the data series and I can change the color and everything. Okay, so you've got lots of different options. Play about with all of the options when you get the opportunity. Okay, so I might want to there say, again, just changing the colors or whatever, but I've got the whole thing selected there. So sorry, I would have to click onto an individual section of the pie, and I can use the fill, okay, to change the colors. Okay, so if I'm not happy with a particular color, you can see there I can scan through and I can change very, very quickly and easily. Okay, if there's a piece of the pie that's alarming, you can also explode the pie. Okay, so I can pick a section of the pie and I can drag it out. Okay, pulling it out. Okay, there we go, I've exploded the pie. So you can explode the pie and play about with it. You can do lots of different things. Okay, if I undo that, I'll put the pie back to the way it was. Okay, I'm just going to delete that again. Okay, so that was nice and easy because it was all of the students for maths. Maths is next column to the student names. What if it was all of the students for French? Again, I'd need to use my control key. So I make my first selection, hold your control key down, then click on French. Okay, then when I go and insert my pie, okay, again, I'd need to give it a meaningful title, but I've just got the French scores for the students this time. If I wanted to do Anne's scores for each of the subjects, select the subject titles, including the empty cell. Again, hold your control key down and click and drag across Anne's details. Insert chart. Okay, again, I would need to change my title to make it meaningful. But there you've got just the scores for Anne's maths, English and French. So again, click onto the pie, right click, add data labels. Right click again, format the data labels and put them into percentage and take the values off, for instance. Okay, pies or any charts are nice and easy, they're quite intuitive. You play about with them. As I say, use your right mouse button, or you've got the options over on the right hand side, and we've got stuff over here as well. So you can play about with the pie, changing colours, adding on labels, etc., and adding on access titles. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. And remember what you must do when you go to print, make sure that you've added the footer back on in the page setup section within the print menu. What to make sure when you do non-adjacent selections as well is don't hold your control key down first. Okay, I've actually clicked into E5 at the moment. If I held my control key down now and then went to select the subjects, titles, and then went to get David, okay, you can see here that I've also got a random cell. So when I go to do my chart, it's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to get blank. Okay, Excel doesn't know what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so it's remember, make your first selection, then control, then your second selection. Okay, so here we have basic charts within Excel. Thank you.